After watching this live, you're going to know exactly what alignment feels like. You're going to know exactly what it feels like to have an open energy field that allows your manifestations to pour through. You're going to know exactly what it feels like to feel that momentum building in the background that is literally resulting in your manifestations coming into your physical reality, right? Whether it's money you're manifesting, clients, the business, the freedom lifestyle, the holiday, the partner, whatever it is, this live is going to tell you exactly what alignment feels like, right? And when I'm going to walk you through the exact feelings, the sensations in your body, so that you can tune into yourself and you can see where you've been operating, right? So you know exactly, okay, yep, this is when I'm in alignment. Okay, this is when I'm not in alignment with what I'm creating. This is when I'm blocking the desire from coming through. This is when my energy is actually not allowing the thing to take form. This is when the momentum is not building in the direction of what I'm creating, but it's actually creating this unaligned reality that I don't want to be experiencing, right? This live is going to spill the tea on all of that. And I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. It's a Sunday here, and I've honestly just had a slow Sunday morning. I'm like an old lady. I went to a Sunday market and I've just been chilling, and Sundays are my days to really clean my house, and I just really feel like it's an energetic clean as well, right? Getting ready for the week ahead. And as I've been cleaning my space today, and it's in alignment with the full moon and the winter solstice, just cleansing period, right? Loving it. I had this idea drop through, right, to do this live. And I was like, this can't wait. It's 4:30 on a Sunday. I came into my car and I've driven to this really nice naturey place, which I love to do when I film content sometimes. It just inspires me to look at the trees. I wish I could take you off of this stand right now and show you, but I can't, because then I'm going to have to fuck around and fix this again. But imagine it. I have a warm beverage with me, a nice warm water with lemon, and I'm just here for the vibe. So get cozy. Get cozy with me. I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you today and to be hanging out. This is my fucking favorite thing to do. This right here, my favorite thing to do. So let's talk about it. So a lot of people think that their energy is open in regards to what they're creating. They think that their energy is actually allowing their desire to come through. And often many people don't take a second look at this, because often when you recognize a desire, you're like, well, I want that. Of course I'm going to allow it to come through, right? But there can be many distortions going on in the background of our subconscious mind, of our subconscious programming, that actually blocks the desire that we have. And in a lot of cases, I've helped a lot of clients through this. Also, I've done this for myself in my own life as well, and I've seen this in myself and in my own life as well. A lot of the times, the desires we have, we actually have a secret desire underneath that desire that actually doesn't want the desire for another reason, right? Due to another belief. So a lot of the time, you can actually be blocking your desires from coming into fruition. And that's what many people experience without actually taking the time to realize that that's what's happening. So they go on this journey of trying to create momentum and manifest what they want when they're actually blocking it. Right? They're actually telling the universe, no, I actually don't want this, right? Underneath the surface, I'm talking, this is subconscious. So subconscious is unconscious. So it's not known to you a lot of the time that this is going on, right? And in your conscious mind, you're of course I want this. So you don't check in. But if you know how to actually check into your energy body, if you know how to actually tune into the body and listen to what the body is telling you, then you can get your answer. Then you can understand whether or not you have some subconscious blocks that are actually blocking this desire that you haven't been aware of, right? But you can feel it in the body, because you will be able to feel it in the body, right? Your body is so insightful. Your body is so insightful. It is telling you so much. It's so intuitive, right? So I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to do this, exactly how to tap into your body today and see where you're operating, right? Are you operating in alignment with what you're creating? Is your body, is your soul, is your energy open and allowing and excited for this manifestation to come in, right? Is it like, fuck yeah, let's go? Or are you holding on to distortions? Is your body actually closing off and not wanting that desire to come to fruition, right? And this could be, and a lot of the time it is, like 99.9% of the time it is, this is the reason why most people end up struggling with manifesting. Most people struggle to actually change their lives because they're not paying attention to the undercurrents, right? They're not paying attention to their energy. Now, I will say, before like getting into this, the most important thing is to become very aware of your energy body, right? And you can do this just through like tuning into your body. But also what I want to say here is like having a regular breathwork practice, meditation practice, or just some sort of mindfulness practice, right? Every single day, some time to connect back to yourself and get to know yourself, understand how you work. Because if you're not actually familiar with how you work, how you operate, how your mind works, then you're not going to be able to pick up on these like subtle energetics or these distortions, right? It's going to feel very loud in your mind. It's going to feel really loud in your body when you haven't actually taken the time to be with yourself or process information that you received that day and just like take the time to get to know yourself. So if you don't already, this is like the number one thing. If you want to literally become the master of your reality, you need to become the master of your internal world first. And this is how you become the master of your internal world first. You get to know what the fuck is going on in your internal world, right? Such a simple thing that so many people sleep on, but it's like something that I will forever stand by. I would not be here today if I didn't have my mindfulness practices. There's just no way I'd be able to like know myself and navigate my emotions in this like powerful way. So I want to start off by saying that. Now let's get into the video, shall we? I want to talk to you about alignment. So what I want you to do is, as I'm talking to you about how this feels, I want you to actually experience this, right? This is like going beyond conscious understanding, but this is actually becoming like, I want this to integrate and land in the body. Is what I want to say here. I want this to integrate and land in the body. So, as I'm talking to you right now, as I tell you what alignment feels like in the body, what it feels like to be open and allowing of your manifestations, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to listen to my words, right? And I want you to just tune into your body. So close your eyes with me right now. Let's take some deep breaths in through the nose. And out through the mouth. You can make an audible exhale sound and just let that all go. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Amazing. And one more for me, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now just pay attention to what your body feels like. Pay attention to your hands, your feet, your legs, your neck. Maybe move your body around, wiggle the toes, wiggle the hands, and just really get into the body. Pay attention to how your body is feeling. How's your back feeling? Your chest. Amazing. Okay. So what alignment feels like is, it feels exciting. It feels relaxed. It feels easy. It feels like a deep breath in and a big long exhale out. It feels like a letting go. It feels like a surrender. And it feels like a surrender that's deeply rooted in trust and knowing. It's this sure energy. You're not trying to convince yourself that what you want is coming. There's none of that. There's just, of course. It wouldn't be any other way. Right? It's this or something better. And it doesn't feel like you're anxiously and desperately trying to convince yourself of that. It feels easy to say that. It feels like when you say that, your body's like, yes, this is what it feels like. When you think about what you're calling in, you get giddy. It's like a, ooh, I can't wait. That's what it feels like. It's like an excited anticipation. It's not a need. It's not a, I need this now. It feels like a, I'm so fulfilled in this now moment. And I'm so excited for my life. I'm so excited for this life. I'm so excited for the abundance that this life holds. I'm so excited that I am the creator and I have this ability. How fucking amazing is life? It feels like your heart space is just open and allowing and ready. It feels like a, I am fucking ready. And sometimes you can feel this like anticipation sort of energy, this like the fear, the what ifs, the monkey mind, but it's not as strong. It's not as activated. It doesn't take you. It doesn't make you flinch energetically, right? It doesn't close your heart space off. Instead, it feels like you can see the voice. You can see that part of your mind, but you're anchored and solid in truth. You know the truth. That is the dominant frequency, the openness. It's like, I'm scared. Yeah, there's fear because this is new. Of course, this would be fearful for anyone who's doing anything new, right? Because it's like, of course, like that's just normal, but I trust myself. And that's the dominant vibration. The dominant vibration is, I'm excited for this. I'm ready for this. I'm open for this. I want this. And as I'm saying this right now, it is 4:44 on the clock. That is what alignment feels like. Why am I getting emotional? Ugh, I'm getting emotional at the thought of alignment. I just love this fucking feeling so much. That is what alignment feels like. I want you to breathe into that. That is what alignment feels like. 4:44 on the clock. Fuck yes. Now, knowing what alignment feels like, I want you to tune into what you're creating. The thing that you're calling in right now. And I want you to, as you're thinking about it, not thinking about what your mind is telling you to do. I want you to think about what your body is telling you to do right now. What your body is doing, not telling you to do. What's your body doing? As you think about your desire, what is your body doing? Did you notice a shift within your field? Did you notice a closing off? Did you notice a constriction within the heart space? Did you notice like a ping within your stomach, right? Or maybe another body part of yours like went off, right? Did you notice like pain arising? Did you notice this like anxious energy come up, right? Maybe you could even feel it in the throat, like a clogging up of the throat, like a, right? It didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like this opening, strong, allowing, calm, ready energy, but instead it feels like like an anxiously trying to hold on, right? Does it feel like you're anxiously trying to convince yourself that you're open, perhaps, right? It's like you want to be open so badly, you want that energy of alignment so badly, but the truth is you're just not operating on that frequency. The truth is you're just trying to anxiously hold on to that. Right? What is your body doing? Is it closing off? Is it flinching? Is it anxious? As you think about what you're calling in. Are you holding on? Are you clenching in your body? Right? All of a sudden, does it feel like you can't breathe? Does it feel like you need to distract yourself with something else? Is this feeling just so uncomfortable? That's an indication that you have underlying distortions towards what you're creating, right? That's an indication that you're not fully on board with where you're going. There's parts of you that are actually resisting the desire for whatever reason. So I have like many stories of this throughout my life, but the one that I'm going to give you an example of, just so you know how this works. But I remember when I was calling in money into my experience, I was desperately like, I want to call in money, I want to call in money, I want to call in money, right? I wanted to call in large sums of money, and whenever I would call in large sums of money, I would like just manifest it all away, right? And I'd spend it all, because at the core of it, I didn't trust myself with money, right? I didn't actually trust myself to hold money. And there were like many, many, many different beliefs around my money story. But there was like a one particular belief that really prevented me from going to that next level with like my revenue and my business, right? And this was a belief that was sitting there, and like I had no idea this was there, right? But whenever I would feel into my desire to call in more money, it would feel like this anxious, like it didn't feel like a calm, yes, let's fucking go, I've got this. Like, it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like a, yeah, no worry, like, of course that's gonna happen. It felt like an anxious, trying to hold on, trying to convince myself, needy, I need this to happen, right? Type of energy. And as I like did some exploration to be like, why is this there? Because consciously I want more money, right? Consciously I want to be wealthy. I don't want to be limited by wealth in this life, right? By wealth. I don't want to be limited by like lack of money in this life, is what I'm trying to say there. Right? It's like I want to be financially free in all of the things, right? I want a successful business, right? So it's like consciously it didn't make sense for me to be like, you know, I'm resisting my desire. I actually don't want my desire. But that was the truth of what was going on in my field. So when I tuned in and I could see this like dis-ease, I learned on like the practices that I teach my clients, that I walk my clients through. I'm also teaching you this in Anchored as well. So I literally go through EFT practices you can do, why work, memory work. Like, these are key practices that completely fucking change your life, and I walk you through exactly how to do them. So this is what like I said, it's what I teach my one-on-one clients as well, and it's what I have done to completely change my life, my business, my revenue, all of the things. So with this, I learnt of my practices and I saw the truth of what was actually sitting there when I paid attention to not what my mind was saying, which was saying, of course I want money, right? I paid attention to what my body was doing, which was flinching, right? My body wasn't feeling excited by that idea. Why? Right? And it wasn't until I just accept the fact that that was there, because I resisted this feeling for so fucking long. I resisted it for so long. And this has been like the reason why most people struggle to fucking manifest, because they're resisting the truth of how they actually feel, right? And they're fighting against themselves. It's like you're battling this internal war as you're trying to call in your new reality, and it doesn't fucking work, right? And it's exhausting, it burns you out, and it makes you resent the manifesting process. And this was the cycle I was in with money particularly. I was resenting the manifesting process. I was like, I fucking hate this. This is the worst thing ever. And it was because of this. It was because of this energy. And anyway, when I finally stopped resisting myself, because I'm like, it's just too painful to go on like this, I let myself actually get real with what was there. I lent on my practices, and I got to see that there was a part of me that was holding on. There was a part of me that didn't actually want the money deep down. And that's why I was resisting it. That's why I was closing off. That's why it didn't feel fun to call in money when I was thinking into my desire. That's why I was anxious, right? And I would go into fight or flight. And it was because I had a belief that if I had more money, then that was going to make me responsible for everybody's happiness in my life. I was going to be responsible for my mom, my family, my partner, right? And then it was all going to be resting on my shoulders. And I was like, fuck no to that responsibility. I absolutely did not want that responsibility. So I was pushing it away, right? And actively manifesting experiences that resulted in me spending all of the money so that I was like safe again, right? So I had this like sense of like, okay, no, I don't have that responsibility. I didn't know that that was happening in the background, right? And I wasn't able to actually sustain holding larger amounts of money until I was able to see that belief that was sitting there and actually deal with it, right? And it was by doing this. It was by paying attention to when my body was telling me that I wasn't good with what I was calling in, right? When I was actually actively freaking the fuck out at like the desire coming in, right? When my body was like, no, we're not ready, right? So this has been the biggest thing on my journey, my manifestation journey. The thing that has actually allowed me to quantum leap towards my desired experience and grow, right? In revenue, in my business, and all of the things, right? The reason why I'm able to actually manifest what I want and my clients are able to manifest what they want, it's because this is what they do. They pay attention to what is actually happening in their body. They pay attention to what is actually happening in their energy field, right? They don't make what's coming up bad, wrong, or anything like that, right? They don't shame and blame themselves. They don't resist the truth of what's actually sitting there, right? They don't resist the truth of what's actually sitting there. They meet themselves where they're at. And they go, what the hell is going on? You're flinching, you're resisting, you're closing off to that desire. Why, right? Rather than sitting there gaslighting yourself for like months on end going, I'm open, no, I want this, no, I want this, no, I want this, right? You might be able to fake your alignment through that, right? And it's going to be really it's going to be a struggle getting there, but you might be able to fake your alignment getting there, and you might call in the manifestation or call in an aspect of the manifestation, but you will not be able to hold it. You will get rid of it. And that's what I used to do, right? You will not be able to build sustainably from there. It'll constantly be this cycle of like getting what you want, then losing it, getting what you want, then losing it. And when you're in this cycle, you're going to massively not trust yourself, because you're going to constantly have this like story in your head of like, well, there's no point me even trying anymore because I'm just going to lose it, right? So with this, when you have this cycle, it's because you're not actually working with yourself. You're not building your dream life. You're not building the wealth that you desire. You're not building anything that you're not calling in, right? You're not building your desires from a foundational, powerful energy, from a self-resourced energy. Instead, you're in this war with yourself. You're in this internal war with yourself where you're fighting yourself, right? And your foundations, your building structures, when you're creating the manifestation, they're not stable. When you don't trust yourself, when you're not working with yourself, when you're ignoring what your internal world is doing. And then this is what leads to the structures falling, right? This is what leads you to defaulting back to your baseline normal reality. And this is what keeps you in the cycles that you're stuck in, right? This is what makes manifestation so difficult. If you want manifestation to be an easy process that's uplifting, that's like on this like constant trajectory going upwards and upwards and upwards and upwards, it's about learning to work with yourself, right? It's about learning how to not resist the truth of what's happening internally, see it fully for what it is, right? And work with yourself based on where you are. This is how I was able to go from $0 months in my business to literally sales pouring through, booking clients that would spend like thousands of dollars on me. I was struggling to sell like a fucking $200 offer in my business. And as soon as I did this work where I actually met the resistance and I didn't fight the truth of what was going on, I just met myself where I was at. I met the fear, I met the resistance, I met the pain, I met all of it, right? And then I learned how to work with that part of me, right? With each of those different versions of me, and I brought my whole self along. I didn't shame my ego. I didn't tell my ego they were a dumb bitch, right? I was like, shut up, you dumb bitch. Like, let's do this. I used to. It didn't fucking work, right? But I didn't shame myself. I didn't resist what was actually coming up. I didn't resist the pain. And that was when all of a sudden it was like so hard to fucking sell a $200 offer. And then all of a sudden, as I was working with myself to this level, giving myself like love and grace and building on these solid foundations and bringing my whole self on board with what I was creating and opening up a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, then all of a sudden it was so fucking easy to make money. Like selling a $3,000 offer was just like that. It was just like, yeah, no worries, right? Like this work just blows my fucking mind. It doesn't, but then it also does, because I'm just like, you just can't make this shit up. It is so fucking powerful. I can't tell you how powerful it is. There are people behind me right now. That's okay. It's just so powerful. I'm getting distracted now. I'm a Manny Jen. There's so much going around. There's so much going on around right now. What? There's so much going on around me right now. Can you see them? Okay, no, they're gone. Okay. But yeah, this is what really changes the fucking game. It's actually being able to work with yourself. There is no way you're going to be able to create your dream life, to call in the money that you desire, the business you desire, the clients, anything, without bringing your whole self on board, right? You can't get there fighting yourself, telling yourself that every single time you have a bad feeling, that you have pain, that you have discomfort, that you're fucking everything up, that like the manifestations stop, like that is actually what creates the lag in your reality, right? That is what's creating this fucking like making manifestation so hard, because you're resisting pain, you're resisting difficult emotions. And it's why you're actually struggling to shift beliefs and things like that as well, right? Rather than actually just getting honest with yourself and being like, okay, how do I genuinely actually feel towards what I'm creating, right? Because the only person you're hurting here is yourself. If the energy is there, this is what I like to say to my clients all the time. If the energy is there, it's already manifesting into your experience, whether you like it or not. If the distorted energy is there, it is already manifesting into your experience, whether you like it or not. You can consciously focus on it, or you can push it back down into your subconscious mind. It will still be playing out in your reality. I can assure you of that. 1000%. This is actually how you end up manifesting your worst case scenarios. This is how it's done, right? Worst case scenario can be manifested in like two ways. Either you manifest it like internally, like you start to feel like you're like the worst case happening internally first, and then some people don't know how to deal with that, like once it starts like affecting their internal world, and then they actually end up creating it in their external world. And I've done this many a fucking times where I've manifested like literally spending all my money, getting to my last dollar, all of the things, right? So this is what happens when you resist yourself, right? When you resist fear, when you actually ignore what's there, when you ignore the doubt, when you ignore the resistance. Because what happens is, first-hand experience, what happens is as it's coming up, right? You go, oh no, I'm not allowed to feel that. I shouldn't have that. Oh no, I don't want to deal with that. Oh, I'm sick of dealing with that. And you push it down, right? And it starts off as like a small little energetic like flinch. And you go, no, I don't want to deal with that, right? And then you can easily refocus your energy. But you didn't actually deal with it. You just pushed it down. You feared it. And when you feared it, you sent it energy. When you resisted it, you sent it energy. So you're building its momentum. And then you pushed it back down. You're like, yeah, you stay there. And then you went to go focus on something else. And then again, something else is going to happen. It's going to trigger that fear, that thought, that like flinch. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to fear it, feed it energy. So it's building again. And then you're going to ignore yourself. And then as it keeps coming up, you're going to notice, particularly now that I'm pointing this out, you're going to notice how this works. It's going to build and get stronger in energy. And then it's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder until it gets to the point where it manifests as an ego death or a tower moment. These are ego death tower moments. This is how they happen. I'm actually going through one right now, right? It's like, this is how it happens. They're really easy to like ignore, right? They're really easy where it's like the little like niggles and niggles and niggles and niggles and niggles. And then you're going through the tower death, the ego death moment, right? Because what happened is you didn't actually meet yourself where you're at. Instead, you resisted it, you feared it. And when you resist and you fear, you're actually feeding it with energy, right? You're making it stronger. You're feeding momentum to that thought pattern, to that belief, right? And then you feed it and feed it and feed it until it actually manifests into your physical experience, right? Whether it takes over like your internal world first and then it manifests into your 3D experience, or like both, right? It manifests into the 3D. So this is how it happens. So when you have distorted energy within your field, this is why I say it's literally, there's just no fucking point whatsoever to ignore it, because you're only hurting yourself. If it's there, there's no use literally going on this whole like rampage of like trying to convince yourself that it's not, or you know, like there's no point. There is no point. The best thing you can do for yourself is Meet yourself where you're at. Be honest about what's actually there, what's sitting within your vibrational field, how you genuinely feel. If you don't feel excited about your manifestations, if you're closing off, if you're scared of them, meet yourself where you're at so you can actually work with where you're at, and so you can bring your whole self on board, right? So you can bring the parts of you that are fucking terrified, that are scared, that have had traumatic experiences, right? Whatever it is, and you can actually hold your hand through the process, right? You can parent yourself through the process, and then this way you build on this like solid, sexy, allowing energy where it feels like I've got myself, right? It's this like just a powerful place to build your desired reality from, where you're just working with yourself, right? You're not shitting on yourself every step of the way, telling yourself that you can't feel a bad feeling, because that's just not fucking human. What do you mean you can't feel a bad feeling? And I say this like to myself as well, like past me who used to literally treat myself like this, and it was just like, it's so sad to see, because it's just such an unrealistic fucking standard to hold. Fears are going to come up, doubt's going to come up, resistance is going to come up every step of the fucking way. It doesn't matter where you are on your manifesting journey. It doesn't matter what comes up. What matters is who you are when it comes up, right? And who you are when it comes up is being able to feel it all, feel all of your emotions, see it all, right? While knowing that you're always going to anchor into your higher standard, who you're here to be, what you're here to do, right? Because that's just who you are. That's your standard for life. That's just who you fucking are, right? You're not going to let the shit simmer. You care about how you feel. You care about your internal world, right? So you best believe you're going to make sure that you're fucking good, right? So many people are operating from the standard of manifestation first, then you. Doesn't work like that. You're going to literally just create a life that's totally out of alignment. And when you finally call in the material things, I promise you, you aren't going to, you're not going to be the version of you you're envisioning. You're going to be in the experience of that material thing, no matter what it is, whether you're traveling around the world, whether you have the money you desire, the business you desire, the freedom lifestyle you desire. I've done all of those things where, you know, all of these big manifestations have come through, but there were times where I wasn't the version of myself that I thought that I would be, right? I thought, oh, once I have this freedom lifestyle, I'm going to be good. And it was like, no, I wasn't good, because it was like manifestation was first and then I was second. I wasn't putting myself first, right? And as a result, when I would call in this like desired manifestation, I was this like unaligned version of myself who was self-critical, not judging herself, didn't feel safe in the like abundance that I called in, right? Was operating from lack. Like I was still that person because I actually wasn't attending to me, right? Everything was focused on what my external reality looked like rather than how I felt, right? Rather than my perspectives. So this is massive. This is just such a big conversation to have. And yeah, I'm excited that we got to have it. This is exactly what Anchored is all about, by the way. So if you haven't heard about Anchored, Anchored is an embodiment tool that I am creating behind the scenes at the moment. And it's for calling in more wealth, calling in money. So it's called like Embodied Money, right? That's the tagline for the experience. And when I thought about like creating this, I really like, it's not a program, it's not a masterclass, it's nothing like that, right? Because through working with clients and through my own experience in life, what I've realized is this: the thing that actually changes people's lives, and this is what makes like one-on-one mentoring so fucking powerful, it's actually embodiment. It's changing your energy. It's understanding your energy to this level, not just receiving information, right? And for so long on my journey, I was just receiving information but not implementing it. And so many people are doing this. They're receiving information but they're not implementing it. Whereas like, so you go into the courses and things like that and you're learning the things, but you're not applying it. You're not embodying it, right? So I didn't want Anchored to be just another program where I'm telling you how to align your energy to more wealth, right? Because you're just going to receive that information, but are you going to embody it, right? What's the likelihood of you actually embodying it? So I wanted to create something that is like designed in a way where you have no choice but to embody it, because that's how it's used, right? That's what it is. So for example, in a moment where you're noticing the disaligned energy towards like the desire that you're creating of calling in more wealth. So I like to use the example of perhaps you're at the supermarket, you're buying your groceries and you notice the energetic flinch. You would have Anchored to lean on in this moment, where you would go to Anchored, and Anchored will literally walk you through what's happening internally. Like step one, what to do. Okay, you've noticed the energetic flinch. How are you actually going to deal with that? How are you going to move through that? Right? I literally walk you through step by step exactly how to make sure you're dealing with each emotion that's coming up, right? The energetic flinch, the doubt, the fear, whatever it is. And we have like specific fears, right? Everyone has like specific fears towards money. Some people like fear time, some people fear worst case scenarios, and I literally, so it's like all categorized. And when you click on the category that you're like the thing that you're navigating, you'll literally get a step by step on, okay, this is what's happening right now and this is what you need to do to make sure that you're not bypassing it. So I literally walk you through, this is what I want you to do right first, and then you'll have like a little check-in to be like, okay, cool, are you ready to now shift the energy? So we do that like little tune in, and I actually walk you through like a little energetic check-in to be like, okay, what's your body doing? Is your body actually ready to move on? So I walk you through exactly how that feels like, so you're not just leaving it to chance, right? So you're not on this journey alone. Instead, you actually have something to lean on to be like, okay, because it can be fucking tricky to navigate yourself, and I don't like, you know, it's just trickier to navigate yourself when you're in your own mind, when you have your ego involved, you're dealing with your human self, right? It's just, think about like, for example, think about it like this, right? If a friend's coming to you for advice and they're telling you about a toxic boy, you can sit there and be like, he's toxic, da 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 da, you're so much better. You can see so clearly, right, when you're an outsider looking in. Whereas if you were the friend going to your friend saying, I'm really into this guy, but you know he's toxic and all of the things, but you're conflicted with all of these emotions of desire and want and love, and you know your friend's like telling you clearly what's going on, but you're just like, I don't know, right? You can't when you're when it's you in the situation, it's like there's so much involved. So Anchored makes it easy for you to make sure that in the moments that you're going through something specific, you have the tools on exactly how to deal with it, right? You know exactly what's going on internally. You know exactly what to do to make sure you're not bypassing it. So therefore you're not like fucking manifesting your worst case scenarios all the time and being stuck in these toxic shit cycles, right? Instead, you're aware of like, okay, yep, this is what it means when I'm resisting, when I'm closing off. This is what it means. Like, when this, so for example, it's like, okay, so when this is coming up, when I'm fearing worst case, it could actually be coming from this wounding, or this could be going wrong, right? So we actually dive into the nitty gritty of what actually could be going on subconsciously, unconsciously, that you're not aware of, right? And this whole thing is like putting power back in your hands, putting the self-awareness back in your hands, right? So you'll know exactly how to process your emotions. I also have like tools in there to support you as well. Like I walk you through exactly how to do like a memory work, why work. So why work really like tells you what's happening deep in your subconscious mind. Memory work is how you actually like redefine how you relate to the past so that you can redefine how you relate to your present current moment. Like memory work is so fucking underrated. So many people just don't know the benefit of memory work. It literally has changed my fucking life. So I literally walk you through how to do that. I walk you through how to like emotionally like process and all of the things as well. So I actually teach you how to do EFT tapping on your own as well, just for like extra support as you're going through like the feeling portion of, and like not resisting yourself, meeting yourself where you're at. When you're doing that portion, it's nice to have these tools to lean on. So you have that there as support as well on top of all of this. And then once you actually tune in and you're like, okay, cool, this is like, we've got screaming. That's okay. They're excited about Anchored. So once you actually have processed the emotion without bypassing, you've met yourself where you're at, right? And you've gotten to this place where your energy is starting to open and you're like, okay, I'm ready now. I am ready to finally let go of this like thing that I've been holding on to, and I'm ready to open my heart up to getting excited about what I'm calling in and letting go of this and shifting the energy, whatever it is, right? Then you have the anchor on exactly how to do that. So I literally walk you through exactly how to do that. anchor into a higher perspective, into a timeline that's actually going to support where you're going, right? How to actually do this in a way where you're taking your whole self on board, right? And like I said, so this is like going to be specific to each individual trigger that we have towards money that comes up. So you'll literally have this like catalog of support. So whenever like something is coming up to money, in regards to money, you're just like, okay, cool. Yep. I'm fearing time, or I'm getting needy, or, this is happening. So you can learn, okay, this is what's actually, or we are not learning because we're doing this like real time together. It's like in that moment, you're like, okay, this is what's happening. This is exactly what I need to do. Okay. This is how I process my emotions. Amazing. Right. And then once you get to that place of opening, you're like, okay, cool. This is how I anchor and now shift into the higher vibration, into the life that I'm here to call in, right? So you're working with yourself. You're working with yourself to build the wealth that you desire. You are working with yourself. You're building on a sturdy foundation of trust. You're building on a sturdy foundation of fucking trust. I have goosebumps as I say that, right? So you're not in this constant cycle of like wishing you had more money, desperately trying to calling it in like little bits and then not able to hold it, right? Or you're in these cycles of manifesting large sums of money and then losing it, right? There's none of that. You're building on a fucking sturdy foundation. This is not only going to help how you manifest money. This is not only like going to fucking transform. This will literally take it to the next level for you. This will literally take things to the fucking next level for you, right? This is not only going to do that, but what it also is going to do is help you manifest anything. This is literally going to help you manifest anything, like create your desired dream fucking life. Desired dream life from this sturdy energy of I've fucking got myself. I trust myself. Like, let's go, right? Where it doesn't feel like you have this internal war with yourself. Instead, it feels like alignment. It feels like that opening. It feels like that sure, calm yes. And if the fear is there, if the doubt is there, you can see it, but you see it from a sturdy, strong, foundational, powerful energy of I fucking got this. Like, let's go. I fucking got this. Right? It's just such a powerful place to create from. And it's so powerful because you're not creating from a place of like reacting to what's happening in your external environment. In fact, it doesn't fucking matter what's happening to your external environment. You could spend your last dollar but still hold this like powerful fucking sturdy energy, and then the next day you blink and then there's $10,000 in your bank account because you don't source from what's happening in your external world. You source from your internal world. You source from yourself, right? You trust yourself. You're not reacting to what's going on outside of you. You react to what's happening externally, and you build and you move and you flow your dollars and you manifest from fucking power. I love this. I'm just so excited about Anchored. It's just an idea that I've had for so long, and it's just, I'm so excited to actually finally be executing it. I'm so excited for the souls that all are already in the space. I'm currently running a special, and it's only up until the actual launch of the content itself, which is the 8th of July. So I'll have that all linked in the caption below if you're interested. So there's currently a special going on. If you buy before the 8th of July, you can get either free access to my really popular program, Intuitive Edge, which is all about strengthening and accessing your intuition, understanding like the difference between intuition and ego, right? Or you can get a free rapid fire session with me, one-on-one session with me, where you literally get my eyes on your business behind the scenes for free. So these are the benefits you can get, and you get to choose which one you want. If you purchase before the 8th of July, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. But yes, I'm going to leave it here for today. Oh my God, it's getting dark now and I'm kind of getting scared. Okay, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm sending you so much love, and we'll